I first met Scott actually when I was in high school here at Hopkinton back in the early 1990s. He's been helping the football team since the 1970s when his older brothers were playing, and everybody knew who Scotty was back then, and that was 25 years ago. So I knew him in passing, who he was, always said hi to him at the games, but didn't really have a connection with him beyond that until 2001. He came into my basketball practice in December 2001, and he's been at every basketball and baseball event since for the last 17 years now.
So I was in high school from 2004 to 2008, and in that time I played football and I went to a lot of the basketball games, and a lot of my friends played baseball and various sports. And throughout that time, Scotty Mackin was present and so energetic and enthusiastic and positive. And I remember at football practices when the other sports are done and it's cold and we're all kind of, feeling strung out at the end of the season, and Scotty would always be there smiling, and he'd be positive, and he'd be braving the elements along with us. And that was a big boost towards the end, when he was always giving us the jolt we needed at the end of the season.
When I first started coaching with Scott, I had a decent amount of hair. I still had like the hubcap in the back, but I had some in the front. And it's gone now. And so Scott and I joke a little bit. I'm like, Scott, you're gonna shave your head like mine, right? He's like, no, you're gonna shave your mustache, right? Nope. He's had it for probably 30, 40 years now. And if you look at the team pictures that are up on the wall in my classroom, it starts off nice and dark, and it's pretty much completely gray now. But this is the very first team that Scott coached with us in basketball. This is 2001 in December, and Scott had the nice dark mustache there. But Scott's right there with us as we go through all these basketball pictures and baseball pictures as well. They span from 2001 until the current day. These are more recent basketball and baseball pictures. He's done freshman basketball, freshman baseball, JV baseball, varsity baseball. He's kind of done a little bit of everything, which has been awesome. And the common link in every one of these pictures is that Scott's in them. And then there's some other kind of cool ones that he's in. This is just from about 7-8 years ago with the basketball coaches at the banquet. We do a exhibition basketball game with Special Olympics every year in January, and Scott refs. As you can see, he's got his ref shirt with the stripes and his name on the back. This is just the Ultimate Warrior, don't mind him. Scott contributes more than I have, that's for sure, and really more than maybe any of our coaches, strictly from the standpoint of when Scott comes in to a practice or a game, he's living his dream, in his mind, and that's what he is. He's the head coach, with apologies to Coach Simos and Coach Gerard and Coach Keene, but Scott's the head coach, and apologies to Miss King, but he's the athletic director and he runs the show, and the kids wouldn't have it any other way. And so he's a guy that's never had a bad day. He comes in with a smile on his face, and the influence and the perspective that he gives to our student athletes is just immeasurable. It's something that they're going to take so much more away from than if we were in a random basketball game against Medway or a baseball game against Westwood. I still have athletes that I'm in touch with from years and years ago, and some of their fondest memories are their interactions with Scott.
I met Scotty back in 2004 when I first took a job coaching in the boys basketball program. I took a job as the middle school coach that year, and Scotty had been helping out for years at that point with Coach Golden doing the freshman boys team. Scotty was always a big part of that. Some of my favorite memories working with Scotty would have to be the way he would always officiate our yearly JV freshman scrimmages over the holiday break. Scotty would always come, showing up in his referee uniform. He always had his own whistle, and he was very, very excited to be part of it that day. And he always did a great job. He really knew, where to be and what he was doing. He inbounded the ball to the kids the right way, and always blew the whistle when he was supposed to. His favorite thing I think to do was always the jump ball, to throw it up for the kids to tap.
He's also a big part of the stuff we do as a class. Like, I've been a class advisor for about 15 years now, so he helps chaperone the proms, he helps chaperone the talent shows, any events we're doing, he's always a big part of. He was just at the talent show last week, and it's really that type of stuff that I think is the most meaningful. Scott's reach throughout Hopkinton goes even well beyond the walls of HHS. He's involved in countless things every single year, and if you know Scott, you know if he does something once, he owns it, and he's going to be part of it every single year. Everything from volunteering at the Boston Marathon to Memorial Day ceremonies, Veterans Day ceremonies. He volunteers at the Senior Center and where his parents work, and he dresses up like Santa Claus there. He's Wally the Green Monster's bodyguard at the Little League parade. Like, he's just, if you turn around somewhere in Hopkinton and there's an event going on, he's probably going to be right in the center of it. There's not a person that's ever come into contact with him and had interactions with him that hasn't come away thinking just, he's awesome. And that's just, it sounds kind of simple, but that's kind of the gist of who he is. He and I, when I was still living in Hopkinton, I would drop him off at home, but on the way, again, I was single at the time and can't cook, so a lot of times we'd stop at Colella's, for instance, when Colella's was still open, and I'd run into the deli and get my dinner, get a sandwich, and it would turn into a 30-minute adventure because every single person in Colella's, hi Scott, how you doing? Everybody knew him. Everybody wanted to say hi to him and see how he was doing, and it's just remarkable. And to see his face light up when he'd see all these familiar faces, it's just something that he has this, I don't know, I guess it's this way about him that he really puts a smile on other people's faces too.
So I've been lucky enough to know Scotty for over 10 years now. It started off when I was a student athlete here at Hopkinton back from 2004 to 2008. Now I'm lucky enough to coach with him in football, basketball, and the baseball programs. He truly defines what it means to be a Hiller. He bleeds green, he bleeds orange, he bleeds white. And everyone around town knows who he is. He's at practices, games, at community events, different activities that are going on. You always see Scotty there. And he is the perfect candidate for the Top of the Hill program. He's kind-hearted, he's loyal, he's spirited. He's just a really genuine guy. And I cannot congratulate him enough for this honor in being a Top of the Hill program. Congratulations, Scotty. Good work. Keep it up.